They would come back there briefly, stay there maybe a couple of days, and then transfer to Da Nang, and then go out. Then when they came back from Da Nang, they would come back there for a couple of days, and then they would go back out to the field.
Now, were you the cook in charge there? Or?
No, we had about, must have been about, maybe about 10, 15 of us that were there, because it was, we cooked until the evening, but we would cook like 2 days on, 3 days on, 2 days off, something like that, where you cook all day long. But in those days in cooking and in the field operation, we had what they call the Bunsen burners, these units that heated up everything, and so you had to go out there and use the tire pump air into them to be able to heat them up, to cook with it, and it was a full day job to do all that. And then you had the people coming in from the field that wanted to eat, and we ended up feeding 300, 400, 500 people a day.
A day.
Yeah, and sometimes around lunch we would get a big group that would come in just for the lunch, and that could easily be 300 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and with it being an artillery unit, the other part of it was that because where we were at, we would always get incoming. We constantly got fired on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that was in addition to cooking? In
addition to cooking. Oh, yeah, yeah. And, to tell you, I arrived in country on Thanksgiving Day, 1968. Thanksgiving Day. That's one day I'll never forget. Thanksgiving Day, 1968, and and that's why I say they sent us down the road, and this was my Thanksgiving, finding my new home. But
they have turkey.
Yeah, well, when I got there, they did have some turkey, a little bit of dressing when I got there, but that was in November, so things. When I first got there, they were sort of quiet, and they lasted until the spring, and then it got real lively in the spring.
Now, were you still 18 at this time?
Actually, I turned 19 in July. When I entered the service, I was 18, but I turned in July. I turned 19, and so I was 19 through actually through the rest of that year. Because my birthday was July, so. 19.
And you stayed at this base all the time?
Yeah.
And were there? Well, there must have been other cooks that that did the KP and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Well, we pretty much had to do it all every now and then, because of some of the issues that they would have some of the other soldiers there. If they were going back to the field, they would assign them to the cooks, and then they would be the ones that would maybe wash the pots, all that stuff. They would have them do that, but and for the most part, that's just what we did. We just cooked. But there came a time later on that we ended up helping out with the artillery units and even
doing other things.
Oh yeah, and even in the clerking unit. I mean, you helped out in all of it.
Mm-hmm. Right at that base.
Right at the base, right, Elsie Vandergriff, right.
And you were there for how long?
I was there for exactly 1 year. Yeah, I left out on Thanksgiving Day, 1969. Exactly 1 year.
Now, during that time, were you sent someplace for R&R or something like that?
Yeah. My wife came to met me in Hawaii.
Oh.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, because I was a cook, we did get a few little perks, and so we made it to Hawaii twice. I was there twice for R&R. And I think it was like a week. Each time was a week.
Where in Hawaii did you go for R&R?
Honolulu. Yeah, Honolulu. Yeah, the main island. Yeah. We were there for a week, and
that wasn't hard to take.
No, it wasn't. It was certainly a break from Vietnam. That's for sure.
Now, did you fly there and fly back?
Yeah, we flew there and flew back.
And so you had 2 R&Rs while you were in there.
Yeah, 2 R&Rs.
And then at the end of your year, what took place? Oh, you just said about July of 1969.
Well, I left out in Thanksgiving, but yeah, around July. That's during the summer months. That's when it really got heated there, where I was at. And as a matter of fact, the one thing I remember, probably the most significant thing that happened to me while I was there in Vietnam.